Hi, and welcome to CordcuttersLI. Would you enjoy streaming movies and TV shows on third-party apps like these on your Amazon Firestick? But instead, every time you go to watch something, all you get is this. I call it the circle of pain, that constant buffering that stops you from watching all the stuff that you want. What if I were to tell you that I almost never experience buffering on my Amazon Firestick? I can teach you several things that you can do to prevent buffering entirely. You'll be enjoying that content in no time. But first, if you like what I do here at CordcuttersLI, please like the video and click that subscribe button. Are you ready to say goodbye to buffering on your Amazon Firestick forever? Let's go! Alright, so let's get right into the things that you can do to stop buffering on your Amazon Firestick. The first thing I'd like to mention is that I'm on the Amazon 4K Firestick, and I'm running version FireOS 6.28. Everything I'm going to show you today also works on FireOS version 7, which is the version that you'll get on the brand new 2020 version of the Amazon Firestick or the Amazon Firestick Lite. So here we are back at the home screen. By far the biggest culprit for buffering is your internet speed. So let's go ahead and make sure that we are connected at the fastest possible speed. First thing I want to do is see what network I'm connected to wirelessly. So we move over to the right and find that gear at the right side of the screen. And then we scroll down and move over to network. So as you can see here, I'm connected to a network called Campbell's Soup. If you hit the play button on your remote, you'll go into the status and see how you're connected. It says 5G. This is definitely the best connection that you can get. You want to get a signal strength as high as possible. Very good or excellent is what you're looking for. And you also want to connect to 5G if possible. You may have both 2.4G and 5G wireless networks in your house, and you want to definitely connect to the 5G because that'll give you the faster speed. So in this case, we're in good shape. If we wanted to have even better performance, we would hardwire the Amazon Firestick if possible. So if you are lucky enough that your Amazon Firestick is close enough to your router, you can hardwire it instead of having to rely on the wireless connection. To do that, you're going to need a couple of devices that are very inexpensive, and I'm going to show you what they are. The first is an OTG cable, or USB on-the-go cable. I will put a link down to the description for both of these things so you know exactly what to buy. The next thing is a USB hub with Ethernet adapter. So if you see this here, Ugreen makes the one that I think is the most popular. So the way that this all connects is very simple. You take the micro USB power and you plug that into the OTG cable. So you plug it in, it only goes into one spot, so that's where that goes. Then you plug in the other end, which is another micro USB, into the Amazon Firestick. So that powers the Firestick. Again, it only goes one way, and I'm blind. Okay, so that goes into there. Now, so what that leaves you with is, if you can see this, so you have power, you're going through the OTG cable to the Firestick, so now that's powered. And what you're left with is this USB connection that you can connect to anything you want. You can use this for adding storage. You can use this for adding a USB Ethernet adapter. You could use this for putting in a keyboard or a mouse or whatever. But what we're going to do is we're going to connect a USB hub that I just showed you to it. And again, that only goes in one way. And now you would connect your Ethernet cable into the end of that. So I know it's a little bit of cabling, but this is going to be giving you the fastest connection. Typically, your wired connection is going to be a lot faster than whatever your Wi-Fi connection might be. And in addition to that, you still have now 3 USB ports that you can connect other devices like storage or other, wireless keyboards or whatever. So that's how that works. So when we get back to the Firestick, I'm going to show you how to do a speed test so you can verify if hardwired is really better for you than the Wi-Fi. In some cases, you'd be surprised, but Wi-Fi might actually be a little bit better. But you can test both ways, and I'll show you how to do that. So now that we think we have the fastest connection possible, let's verify that. The way we can do that is to install a speed test app. So there are a number of speed tests available in the Amazon store. So I'm going to go ahead and search for one. Speed Test Wi-Fi Analyzer. that search should find this Analytics Speed Test Wi-Fi Analyzer, which is probably the most popular one used. So we're going to go ahead and install that. I already own this app on a number of my Fire Sticks, so I'm going to see the download button. If you didn't see a download button, if you've never installed this before, you're going to see a button that says Get. So we're going to go ahead and download it and let that install. After it's installed, you can go ahead and open it. So it runs a speed test, and as you can see, it lets you know all the types of streams that you're capable of showing, and in this case I can show anything I want up to 8K without any issues with this speed. To give you a little comparison, I'm going to connect to a network that I know is a little slower than this one. So I'm going to move over to the gear, and I'm going to go into network and connect to the other end of my house basically. And I'll hit home. I'm going to hold in the home button and find that speed test again. I'm going to go to apps and run it. And as you can see, I'm a lot slower, and I barely have enough speed to run some 4K quality streams. Just barely. And certainly nothing better. So that's not the hot setup. So let's go ahead and change that back. Alright, so now I'm connected to the fastest Wi-Fi in the house. I didn't run the hardwired connection right now because I'm not very close to my router. So Wi-Fi in this case is perfectly fine, and I verified that with the speed test analyzer. So from home, we're going to once again move over to the gear and move over to applications. Go down to managed installed applications. And as you can see here, we have about 2 gigabytes available out of the 5.3 gigs on the Fire Stick. So we're within a pretty safe range right now. But if I dip down below 2 gigs and get closer to the 1 gig range, I'm probably going to want to free up some space. So the way that you can do that is go into Manage Installed Applications and click it. And as you scroll down here, you'll be able to see how much storage space is being used up by any of these apps. If I find one that I feel I don't use anymore, but it's using up some space, I can go ahead and remove those. So like here, I don't want to use Discovery Plus anymore. I can click on it, I can hit Force Stop, and then I can click Uninstall and get rid of that app. So you can do this throughout the rest of your list and just get rid of any apps you'll find that you haven't used in a while. So when you get back, hopefully you'll have well over 2 gigabytes available. And that's always a plus, because if you get low on space, your Fire Stick is not going to perform very well. Next, we're going to hit the home button again, and once again over to the gear and down into preferences. There are a number of settings in here that we're going to want to change, and a lot of these are resource hogs and use up the memory of your Fire Stick. So the first group is down in the privacy settings. We're going to want to make sure that all of these are turned off. These are all on by default. I've already gone ahead and shut these off. As I said, I never see buffering, so I've already got these settings. But you want to make sure that all of these are off. Next, we'll go down to data monitoring and do the same. Turn that off. This setting will keep track of the stuff that you do, the places you go, the content that you see and watch, and reports that back to Amazon. And that obviously takes up resources on your Fire Stick that we don't need to have happen. Next, we'll move down to notification settings. And we want to change this. Normal setting is off for Do Not Interrupt, so we're going to turn that on. To featured content, turn all of this off. And that's it in this group of settings. So we'll hit the home button again. One thing a lot of people don't realize that you should do very often on an Amazon Fire Stick is to just simply restart it. And in case you are not fully familiar with this interface, to restart the Amazon Fire Stick is unfortunately a bunch of clicks. So again, right to the gear, and we'll move all the way down to Fire TV, and we go down to restart. Move over and click it. So we've restarted and we're back at the home screen. Another thing that takes up resources and memory on your Amazon Fire Stick is your screensaver. You may not realize this, but this is running all the time and using up your memory. So you're going to want to probably shut that off. There's no reason why you need a screensaver. So once again, we'll move over to the gear. And this time we're going to go down to Display and Sounds. And go into Screensaver. It's going to be set by default for 5 minutes. So you just go down to Start Time and change that to Never. Once you do that, you can hit the home button and go back. So now you don't have to worry about that program running all the time and using up the resources. The next thing I want to show you is to make sure that your Amazon Fire Stick is up to date. You guessed it, over to the gear, and we move down to My Fire TV. Click About, and then scroll down to Install Update. It says an update is available, so click Install Update. That's going to go ahead and install the update and may or may not restart when it's done. Okay, in this case it did not restart. You want to hit the Check for Updates button again until you see the thing that says you're up to date. Okay, so we're downloading. You just need to do this repeatedly until it doesn't say this anymore. When it's all done, it'll tell you that it's up to date and you're good. Alright, so it didn't need to restart, and now I hit Check for Updates and it repeatedly tells me that my Fire TV is up to date. So we're good with updates and we can rest assured that we have the latest version. The next thing I want to show you is actually an app that you can install that's available for free in the Amazon store. It's called Background Apps and Process List, and this is going to make it really easy for you to see what's running and how to quickly close them and do some other things. So I could search for this app with the voice button on my remote, but with this new interface I thought I would show you how to do it the other way. So from home we move over to Find and go down and click Search, and you can just start typing in the name of this app. It's called Background Apps and Process List. So once you start typing, it'll probably auto-populate. There it is already. We go to Background Apps and Process List, click it, go into it. It's going to tell me once again that I own it and to go ahead and click it to download. Once it's downloaded, we click Open. So what this shows you is all the apps that you have running on your Amazon Fire Stick right now. So to close everything, you want to do a couple of things here. We're going to click on that Close All Apps button. It'll bring you into the first one. You want to go to Force Stop and also Clear Cache. When you hit the Return button, it's going to bring you right back to the second one automatically. Same thing, Force Stop, Clear Cache. Until you're done. Force Stop, Clear Cache, go back, Force Stop. Every once in a while it'll bring you back out to the screen to see what you have left, so you just continue on. You want to be careful not to click this Clear Data button because very often you have either login information or RD subscription information in there and you don't want to clear that. So just go down to Clear Cache after Force Stop and go back. Be very careful not to hit that Clear Data button. Alright, so that's it. After you have all these closed, you can just go ahead and hit the home button and go back into the apps that you want. Obviously, before using any of these apps, you're going to want to go into your VPN and make sure that's connected. And then once that's done, you can go ahead into these third-party apps again, and you should find that you will be streaming buffer free. So those are a bunch of things that you can do to minimize the buffering on your Amazon Fire Stick. You may find that you need to do one or more of those things to prevent buffering on your Fire Stick. I would love to hear from you in the comments below to let me know how you were able to stop the buffering on your Amazon Fire Stick. If you enjoyed today's video, please do click the like button below, and if you want to see more videos when they come out for CordcuttersLI, please subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.